Alright, good morning to you all who are watching. Today is March 30th, 2022, and we have a moderate risk of severe weather across portions of the southern United States today, including places like Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Louisiana. So let's get started. We already have an ongoing line of severe thunderstorms in Arkansas that has been responsible for producing a significant tornado in western Arkansas and probably produced a couple other brief tornadoes. This line has been responsible for widespread damaging wind gusts already, along with embedded circulations, which we have one near Everton, Arkansas right now. We also have another one near Lurton, Arkansas. There's a couple other circulations down the line as well. We have a line of severe thunderstorm warnings from areas just north of Hot Springs, Arkansas, all the way to the Missouri-Arkansas border near Oakland, Missouri. Now, if we look at the Springfield, Missouri radar, we go down a little bit, you can see that this storm is producing a lot of strong rotation. Now, it does have side lobe contamination with it, which is probably not helping, looking at the storm, but it definitely looks like it's producing significant rotation near Everton and then near Lurton too. So we probably have some interesting stuff with that. Again, pretty strong wind gusts and circulations up here as well, all the way into central Missouri. This line will be making its way across Illinois and Missouri today, off and on, probably going severe, maybe tornadic as well at times. Now, we're going to look at the Shreveport, Louisiana radar, as there's another area of interest down there. These storms were previously severe warned. They're not severe warned anymore. They'll probably be severe warned again soon, though. You can see a large line of storms is existing, probably from the Houston area all the way up into Missouri. And now, here we are at the Storm Prediction Center's page. A regional severe weather outbreak is expected from the lower Mississippi River Valley into parts of the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys today, and over portions of the Gulf Coast central states. Widespread damaging wind gusts over 75 miles per hour and several tornadoes, EF2 plus, appear likely today. And as you can see here, we have a 15% significant chance of tornadoes, along with the 10 states surrounding that, 5% and then 2. 45 and 30% for significant damaging wind gusts, and then just a 5 hail. If you want to pause and read the brilliant Storm Prediction Center's discussion, you can definitely do that. To get any life-saving information, visit your local National Weather Service office. Here's our current watch that we have out until 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. A few tornadoes are likely, a couple intense tornadoes possible. Scattered damaging wind gusts with isolated significant gusts up to 80 possible, and isolated hail up to 1 inch possible. A broken band of thunderstorms is expected to reoriented north to south and gradually intensify through the morning and into midday today, as it crosses the watch area. The southern end of the watch may also become severe, so we may need to so it covers portions of Texas and Louisiana. Strengthening deep layer wind fields will allow increasingly moisture to favor tornadoes and damaging wind gusts from this activity. Your probabilities: 60-30 tornado, 70-30 wind, and 25 hail. Under 5 hail. Here's a thing called the SREF. I like to look at the HREF. I like to look at the HREF on high impact days, but first we're going to look at the surface analysis as it loads. I might have to reload the window. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So here's surface analysis. Currently, we have most areas across Dixie Alley with southerly to southeasterly winds. There might be some sort of boundary right here that kind of is shifting the winds just a tad bit, which is going to be an interesting thing to see how that plays out. 2 points in the 60s to upper 50s in front of the line today. Some areas in the upper 60s to lower 70s as well. These are going to be enough fuel to produce some severe storms. Mixler Cape currently is on the order, not very high. It's only 250 or so. That was expected at this point. We are expecting this to really advect northward as we get throughout the day, and we're expecting around a 500 to 1,000 across portions of Dixie Alley. Along with that, something people call the cheat code, which is 3 Cape and vorticity. It's not very high right now. It's high along the immediate line, but it's expected to really get higher today. This will heighten the chance. Further north across the Midwest today, we're expecting severe weather up there as well. 75 3 Cape and a lot of vorticity is possible along the warm front up there. along with mixer cave values upwards of 250 or so. Now let's look at Futurecast via the HRRR. We're going to take you state by state. So first, let's look at Louisiana for today. So here's 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Here's now on the HRRR. So the line weakened a little bit. We can see we have ongoing convection out in front of it. As we get throughout the day today, let me just get. This line is expected to re-strengthen and more storms are expected to develop in front of it. If we take a forecast sighting near Monroe, Louisiana, we can see the environment is very juiced up for tornadic activity, with mixed air Cape well over 1,000 joules per kilogram, surface lapse rates of 7 Celsius per kilometer, and 3 Cape of 100 plus, along with deep layer shear of 60 knots. As we get throughout the day here, we can see a few supercells start to develop in front of the line, and we see that this line really starts to strengthen. As we get throughout the day, large hodographs will probably be the player for that. You can see here, this line really starts to get going with lots of areas with strong storms. And you can see overnight it starts to get really going around Hattiesburg and areas just to the northwest, given the very strong kinematics you have. And New Orleans gets hit around 9 p.m. And this could be more semi-discrete down by New Orleans, and the environment definitely favors that. So if you live in the New Orleans area or southwest Louisiana, you definitely need to be on your guard today and tonight as the line of storms goes through. And for Louisiana, the threat ends at around 12 a.m. Now, going up to Arkansas, of course, your threat is already going right now. You can see here, right around 1 p.m., we're expecting this line to really start to strengthen with a couple discrete supercells to fire in front of it. Along the intermediate line, you can see pretty good soundings across the area. Along the inflow of a supercell here, it's a little bit contaminated, but you can see a large hodograph is present, along with decent enough instability to get that supercell going. As we get to 2 p.m., this line really starts to strengthen, along with that supercell, and that supercell pivots up towards Memphis, Tennessee. This line of storms at this point will probably be producing some pretty significant damaging wind gusts along with strong tornadoes potentially. As we get more into Mississippi here, you can see the line really starts to get going, taking forecast settings on in front of it, and looks like Arkansas severe weather threat will end around 5 p.m. today if the HRRR is correct. Now let's go to Alabama and Mississippi for today. A few discrete supercells are possible, mainly across northwest Mississippi today. And then you can see the line really barrel through Jackson, Mississippi at 4 p.m. Soundings there show that the area is really mixed out of moisture. But as you can see, this line really starts to get going right as you get toward Meridian, Mississippi. And Meridian, Mississippi could get impacted. We can see Alabama starts to get into this threat 6, 7, 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And soundings favor tornadoes, potentially strong ones over there. And you can also see that this line really starts to get going. It just keeps going. Montgomery could be impacted by it. Taking forecast soundings over Montgomery show low cape but very high shear environment. And then as you can see here, it barrels through Montgomery and then it's on to Georgia. And Georgia could be impacted as well with this. Let's move over to Georgia, South Carolina area. Time it out for you. Severe weather enters your state around 2 a.m. Central Time. If the HRRR is correct, and it kind of barrels throughout your state throughout the day. Some tornadoes are possible even early morning tomorrow, as there is a slight risk of severe weather for you guys out there. Some redevelopment is possible behind the squall line, but that's uncertain. Now, if we look at the Tennessee and Kentucky area next, you can see here the severe threat doesn't really start for you guys until we get to around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. You can see even in Illinois we have a nasty squall line there, but the squall line pivots across your area, giving you wind to gust potential and potential for embedded tornadoes as well. The threat does not end for Kentucky and Tennessee until 4 or 5 a.m. the next day. As we get up toward Indiana and Illinois now, and eastern Missouri where the severe weather is possible, you can see that it looks like the severe weather is going to start in Illinois around 12 p.m. and make its way out of the state around 8 p.m. and then enter Indiana around 7 or so. And then exit that state around 1, 2 a.m. So that's some intermediate timing for you. Now, looking at the environment more closely, we'll kind of take a snapshot right around 18Z. We'll probably take a snapshot of the environment here. So right around 18Z, we can look at the hodograph map, and we can see very strong amounts of instability being present across Louisiana and Arkansas here, along with enlarged hodographs along the line, which will present a tornado threat with them. as you get up toward the Ohio Valley, again, it's the same thing. A pocket of instability along with large photographs, which will present itself with a tornado and damaging wind threat. Significant damaging wind threat as well. Now, let's go to tomorrow. There is a severe weather threat tomorrow as well. There's a slight risk of severe weather. We have a marginal from the border of Canada all the way down to the Gulf Coast with 2 areas of 2% tornado probabilities and a 15 wind and then 15 hail as well. Severe thunderstorms are possible across Georgia and the central part of central eastern Florida Panhandle as well as the mid-Atlantic states. If you want to pause right here and read the discussion, you can. Now, for those intermediate areas, you can see here, we'll just time it out for you using this feature right here, just a forecast loop, and kind of going in through, because I know Zulu time pretty well. So it looks like the line of storms kind of enters the states that we're talking about here with the next severe risk, kind of late in the day, but it doesn't really look very strong. And then you get redevelopment across PA up there. Some of these storms could be tornadic, but I'm thinking mainly a large hail threat given the large and long photographs with steep lapse rates as well. Along with that, damaging wind gusts are going to be possible if any like good linear segments can get going. The larger photographs in some areas could provide that threat, and just a lot of scattered storm activity for them, and then they get convective snow showers and snow squalls the next day. And that's just a classic snow squall sounding. Kind of steep lapse rates there in the levels, so we'll have to watch that for them. Kind of just looking over, I don't think there's any day 3 risk at all. Yeah, just a thunderstorm risk on day 3. So, that will do it for this one. Thank you for tuning in. If you live in any area that could be getting severe weather today, just note that, just take shelter. If you get a severe warning or a tornado warning, just make sure you take shelter because anything today will be significant given the fact that damaging wind gusts could be exceeding hurricane force, and then the tornadoes could be significant EF2 plus with packing winds maybe 115 plus mile per hour. But that will do it for this one. I will probably be live later today covering the severe weather threat. So if you want to tune in there and get more information, you can. We'll see ya.